So you have chosen your best tinder and kindling, and now it is time for you to start your fire. But what are you going to use? Your lighter? A blowtorch? What if you don't have that? Then there's an easy solution. Use sticks to start a fire. With enough practice you will do it yourself. Before you can start a fire, make sure that your tinder and kindling is ready. I will just be talking about starting a fire. If you want to know more about tinder and kindling, then watch the video popping up in the upper right corner. There are a couple ways to start a fire with sticks, and I will talk about two of them. First off, starting a fire with a hand drill. The simplest way to create enough incendiary friction is with a setup called a fire drill. A fire drill looks exactly like it sounds. It's a drill made of sticks and wood. The overall setup mirrors the design of a drill press you would see in a metal fabrication shop. It's a combination of a long, straight, dry, sturdy stick with one end sharpened to a point and a flat piece of wood. The stick's sharp tip is set down at a perpendicular angle onto a flat piece of wood called a fireboard. But before drilling, being successful with this method begins with the proper material selection: fireboard and sticks. The drier, the better. Once a fireboard and stick have been procured, it's time to focus on creating an enormous amount of friction. Now with this fire drill setup, you place your open hands on either side of the stick. Palms flat, stick between palms, and you rub your hands together, making the stick twirl. The twirling action of the stick then transfers rotational energy via friction at the point of contact between stick and fireboard. With a hand drill method, the friction is created by twirling the pointed stick with your hands, while at the same time adding downward pressure through stick into the fireboard. The combination of spinning and pressure, over a period of time, creates the friction buildup needed to create a hot ember. The goal is to twirl until the tip of the fire drill becomes hot enough to grow into a small, very hot ember. Once you have an ember, you can stop twirling and transfer the coal from fireboard to tinder. You don't need to rush here. A good ember will be useful for a couple of minutes, but also don't waste time. Place the ember into the tinder bundle and blow on the ember to give it some oxygen. Oxygen will stoke the ember and help it transfer the ember's energy into the tinder material. If successful, the tinder bundle will begin smoking and will eventually burst aflame. Secondly, starting a fire with a fire bow. Another way on how to start a fire with sticks is with the use of a fire bow. You may recognize these from movies of a certain time period where the heroes fashion a bow-designed device from a branch and some twine. They give the fire bow a few smooth pulls, and moments later fire jumps to life. Again, it's not as easy as it looks. The directors of those sorts of movies edit out the hours of toil and sweat and instead hop right to the best part, when the fire starts. A fire bow is composed of a sturdy branch, but, in this case, you want it to have some moisture. This helps prevent it from snapping while you are drilling for friction. The sort of branch you are looking for has a slight C shape to it, like a bow. Yes, you can buy a fire bow and practice with it at home, but we are talking about ruggedly living off the land for a time. Try making a fire bow at home from natural materials so you know what to do in the event of wilderness survival. So once you have your bow-shaped stick, there are a few more steps to create a fire bow. Next, you need some string or paracord. Most string materials can work: twine, shoestring, etc. However, I keep a paracord bracelet on me at all times because it's the perfect material for this task. Now, since you're not twirling with both hands and are instead using only one hand on the fire drill, you can use the other hand to apply a stabilizing bearing block. This is a piece of wood, or shell, held comfortably in your hand and placed on top of the fire drill to keep it steady as you twirl. If using wood as the stabilizing bearing block, you'll want to add a natural lubricant to it. A lubricant helps to prevent the bearing block from building friction and working against your twirling efforts. Some fresh leaves work for this, or a crushed worm or slug can work as well. The fire drill cordage is looped once around the stick so you can twirl it by moving the bow in a back and forth motion like you are sawing. The fire bow string twirls the fire drill, so its point rubs against the fireboard, creating the fire-producing friction. You hold the fire drill steady in place with your free hand placed on top of the handle, keeping the fire drill from dancing all over the fireboard. I like to use this option over the hand drill. This is because it is easier on your hands and works better. But you can choose to use the first option if for any reason you cannot make a bow. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And remember, you are never too prepared.